On this video, I'm going to show you how anyone can become financially free. Let's do it right now. What's up everyone? Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike Mack. I'm going to show you how anyone, seriously, can be financially free. Let's get to it right now. Well, first of all, let's start. When I say financially free, what does that mean, right? Because sometimes we could all have a little different understanding of what financially free means. For some people, that means absolutely rich beyond imagination. They're not wrong. Or it could be financially free as like, hey, I'm self-employed and I don't have to answer to anybody. I'm like free. I can kind of like vacation whenever I want. No, I'm not quote unquote balling or anything like crazy, but I'm doing good. I'm doing well. Okay? I think both are correct. So it absolutely depends on you, first of all. For me, financially free is just, I'm in a position where I am now, where I answer to nobody. I completely am independent. Like my wife and I, we could do whatever we please. We can go on vacation, like impromptu vacations, things like that. That to me is good enough. That is where I strive to be. And being here now, I'm telling you something right now. It's incredible. Didn't start here. If you're not new to this channel, you know the story, okay? So let me tell you how you can be financially free. Let's do it. All right, so if you are in a position, right? Let's say you're working a good job or whatever, and you're like, listen, I have the money, okay? I just don't have the freedom. Well, let me tell you something right now. You know, I don't even have to tell you anything, you already know. Doesn't matter how much money you make at your position, maybe you're making 200 grand right now, 100 grand, whatever. If you don't have the free time, there's no freedom, right? So how do we get that freedom? Well, I always say, the best way to do it is through a business, okay? That's what I ultimately had to do because my job, it didn't matter what kind of raise I would get. None of that mattered. Didn't matter how high I moved up in the ladder, so to speak. I was never gonna have the freedom I was looking for because ultimately that freedom is gonna come from starting a business. It doesn't matter what kind of business you start, you just have to know how to automate it. So I happened to figure out that the best business for me to start was a office cleaning business. And I love that because, the scalability and ultimately the simplicity of it. And when it comes to automation, simplicity is absolutely key. Because when we started, we got in, we became pretty successful, but we were working like crazy. We were working around the clock. And then I was like, wait a minute, like we have to get away from business because even though we're making for us more money than we ever knew what to do with, at the time for us it was like crazy. But we were actually doing the cleaning itself because we were like, oh, this is great, we work for ourselves. But it was like, yeah, but all we did was create a job for ourselves. But then it became all about automation and separating ourselves. Once we separated ourselves, then I got really hooked on like figuring out like, hey, what tools and systems are out there, or what things can I create to really set us apart. And it worked, across the board. And now it's at a point where we spend, less than 4 or 5 hours combined on the business every week. And the company continues to grow, okay? There's more ways than just starting that type of business, but I'm telling you, for me, simplicity, like I said, is key. It's one of the simplest businesses anyone could start. So whatever business you decide to start, right? Let's say you start one and you pick one that is simplistic. You start doing what we did, you become successful, and then you really start like pushing away for the automation, because ultimately, maybe you want to replace your career. Let's say you want to replace that $150,000 a year. You replace your income and then you make it all about automation. And you really want to dial it down, so that way you can walk away from your career that's, maybe 40 to 70 hours per week to now, you have your business and, you're financially free, you're financially independent, but then you become free. Once that freedom is there, now you're working like 5 to 10 hours per week. I mean, that right there is the true path. And the reason why I say anyone can start, I've started a lot of different businesses before, and I'm convinced that when it comes to just like, hey, simplicity, you're not going to beat a cleaning business, an office cleaning business. But an office cleaning business where you do none of the cleaning at all, you're not going to beat it because it's get a client, get a cleaner, get a client, get a cleaner, get a client, get a cleaner. Then when you've done that 3 or 4 times, get a manager to oversee it. And then from there, repeat the cycle again, 3, 4, hire another manager. And then next thing you know, there's just this web of like accounts being cleaned by cleaners and being managed by managers. And then you have you promote somebody to a manager of those managers, basically. That's simply the structure. And then you stay above, like from up top, and then everything is working while you're not working, okay? And that's all because you set it up that way. And that's how you become financially free. And again, there are more ways than just that type of business, but like I said, I'm convinced that anyone can start this type of business, all right? So if you wanna know a little bit more about how you could do that for yourself, I made this video right here. And if you want a little bit of a gift, I wrote a book called Pick Up Cash, Not Trash, The Ultimate Guide to financial freedom with your cleaning business without getting dirty in the process, check out the first link in the description. It is free. Just cover the shipping and we'll send it over to you. All right, so make sure you subscribe and check out that video.